What's good? It's Jordan. Today I'll be talking to you about the disappearance of free thinking. See, in this life today, we have to understand that we have the ability to have free thinking. Oftentimes, our free thinking may be suppressed due to the fact of the matter of not upsetting other people, due to the fact of the matter of wanting to be in social groups and social settings and actually wanting to have quote unquote genuine interactions with people. See, we have to question everything in this life, and we have to understand that if we're not able to have an opinion and be a free thinker, are we really around the right places, the right people, and the right things? In this life, we have to understand that others cannot control the dynamic of our lives. We have the ability to free ourselves from the chains and barriers of other people who may try to destroy our thinking processes. We have to understand that in this life, there are going to be many bullies, and there's going to be many people who are agents of chaos that actually do the work of the enemy and want to destroy us. But at the end of the day, we have to look past those people. Bullies and agents of chaos essentially want to stop you from thinking for yourself. They essentially want to stop you from having your own opinion. They want to stop you from actually knowing yourself and understanding yourself. Why? Because bullies and agents of chaos do not understand themselves. They have deep-rooted insecurities, trauma, and things that they're not able to work through in their own life. So what do? They try to project their insecurities onto you. They try to ruin you with their own methods of thinking. They try to stop you from thinking how you're supposed to be thinking. What we have to do is understand that when we're dealing with bullies, when we're dealing with agents of chaos, we have to understand that we are better than these people. Bullies essentially want to bring you down to their level because they know that they cannot get to your level. When you are on a higher level than them, they are fearful of that. We have to understand that when somebody is loud, what they are trying to show is that they're not fearful, but indeed they are fearful. We have to understand those who are silent, those who are quiet, are powerful people. Do not take silence for weakness. Oftentimes we take silence for weakness. Do not take silence for weakness. Look at those people who are loud, boastful, arrogant, bashful. Those are the most insecure people. Those are the most people who have deep-rooted traumas and insecurities that they're not willing to defeat and barriers that they're not willing to break. So what they do is they try to destroy other people, essentially try to destroy the quiet people. Now, we have to understand the differentiations in the quiet people and the loud people. If you're looking at somebody in society and they're a quiet individual, confident, and they're able to just navigate society in this life, just doing their own thing, being reserved, those are people who are confident. Those are people who are quote unquote trustworthy individuals. Those are people who look at the world from a deeper perspective and a deeper level. Because when you're quiet, you're constantly thinking. You're constantly thinking of what to do next. You're constantly thinking of your own plans and preparations. You're constantly thinking about the world around you. But the people who are loud, boastful, and arrogant, those people essentially aren't thinking. They're essentially trying to be distractions towards other people who are actually thinking. And granted, there may be opinions and debates where those quiet people actually get loud, where there are situations that have happened where quiet people were actually manipulated, and these quiet people knew that they were being manipulated, so they spoke openly about these situations. And we have to also understand that quiet people can be loud when they know that they're being mistreated, when they know that they're being manipulated, when they know that they're being, guided towards the wrong path. So when we look at a quiet person and we see that that quiet person gets loud or they get angry, so to speak, we have to understand too what caused them to get mad and what caused them to get upset, what caused them to actually feel that way, and what caused that quiet person to lash out, because quiet people do not normally lash out. No one understands that when a quiet person lashes out, that they're lashing out for a reason. We have to understand that those loud people, those arrogant and boastful people who oftentimes are loud, boastful, and arrogant, they're not strong, they're weak. And when we understand this, we understand that the weak who try to portray themselves as strong, try to prey on the people who are perceived as weak, then we have to understand where dominance comes from. We have to understand where strength comes from. Because in this life today, we can get it misconstrued due to our own ideologies, and we have to actually focus on what is matters of importance, what is important, and I feel like many do not look at the order of importance in this life, and many times if you do not look at the order of importance in this life, you can actually be led to the slaughter, and we have to be open to being free thinkers. In society, we've been conditioned and programmed so much that when we see somebody that is freely thinking, we think that is a problem. But the problem lies where everyone is group thinking. Many times we may watch media platforms and publications, and when we watch these figures on platforms and publications, we may see them speaking based upon the status quo, based upon what we're conditioned to believe and conditioned to think. So we never question it. Now we may see people who are quote unquote rebellious, which I believe that they're not quote unquote rebellious, but society perceives them as rebellious for fighting back against certain analogies in this life that are actually hinder us to our growth and development as humans on this earth. And many times I saw where individuals who actually are free thinkers actually get into issues for free thinking, as opposed to the people who actually want you to actually group think and the people who actually want you to not think for yourself. We have to differentiate the both. We have to think for ourselves. Sometimes when I see media platforms and publications in this life, I see things where there's errors and others may not see these errors. And sometimes I think to myself, am I the only one that's seeing these things? And I know and believe that there's other people out there like myself that see these things that are happening in society and see the power dynamic and control in society. But some are afraid to say anything because they may be outcasted by their family members, their friends, their associates, co-workers, people in society in many different avenues and industries. They may be, canceled, so to speak. But, in reality, if we live by that mindset, nobody's going to be a free thinker. Everybody's going to think the same way. And when you are thinking the same way as somebody else, you're easily controlled. And many times I saw where someone would say something that is actually the truth, what's going on in this society, and everyone looks at that individual as an outcast, as a problem, as the black sheep, so to speak. But the real problem is, why aren't we listening to the people who are actually providing information that is actually helping us? Why are we fighting those people but listening to the people who are actually hindering us? People may talk a good talk at the end of the day, but look at their decision making. Anyone could be charismatic and, tell you what you want to hear to make you feel like you are doing the right thing in your own personal life. But really and truly, they may not be trying to help you. They may be actually trying to hurt you. Sometimes hearing the hard truth is very helpful. And, sometimes people may actually tell you the hard truth because they really care for you and they really want to see you do better. And it's not bad to hear the hard truth, and accept the hard truth. But it's the way somebody tells you the hard truth There's a way where somebody could tell you something because they really care about you and they really want to see you do well. And then there's a different way where someone may tell you something because they actually want to hinder you and stop you from progressing and developing. So we have to navigate this life understanding where these viewpoints, opinions, and ideologies stem from in this life today, because we can be led astray if we decide that we want to group think and not think for ourselves. Sometimes it may be hard because, you don't want to look like the outcast. You don't want to be peer pressured or any of those things, but just walk away. And that's a hard thing to say, just walk away, because in that moment, anxiety may stir up. In your mind, you may think, what if these people look at me as someone of an outcast and I may not have no friends? So you kind of want to please these people at the same time. But if somebody is hindering you and hurting you and stopping you from actually growing and progressing in this life today, are they really your friends? Are they really somebody that wants to see you do well? Are they really people who actually have your best interests at heart? Many times we've blurred the lines and not really understanding who is for us and against us. And when we don't take the time to really understand that, then we lose sense of ourselves and we lose sense of our social circles and dynamics in the society today. So today, I'll be leaving you with this scripture, and I hope that this scripture can help you in your own personal life. Romans 16:17. I appeal to you, brothers, to watch out for those who cause divisions and create obstacles contrary to the doctrine that you have been taught. Avoid them. Understand, in this life, you're going to have opinions, ideologies, and belief systems that people may not have, but understand that in this life, if you're following God, you have nothing to fear. God is with you. God will strengthen you and protect you. And essentially, you do not need to be around those who try to hinder your progress, who try to stop you from following God, those who try to stop you from doing the right thing in this life today. Know that your life is important. Know that God provides the strength always. All praises to the Most High. I want to thank you for watching. Peace.